This is the Leading with Love podcast. We're gathered here to open our hearts, expand our souls, live fully in our gifts, and co-create the world we want to see. Let's dive right in. Hey, amazing beings. Welcome to the Leading with Love podcast. I am Shauna, your host. And if you're here for the first time, you just heard the intro on what this is about. And if you're returning, I thank you. I'm grateful. Either way, I'm grateful. As always, because the conversation just keeps flowing and it's beautiful and it's important, and leadership with love happens everywhere. It's a conversation that I'm just having all the time, and it involves bringing our hearts into the game of life and not just using our intellect. And I've been really trying to quantify what this means, listening to your inner voice, having your heart be part of the conversation, healing so that you're not just running loops in your mind. There's so much to it. And leadership to me now means that this is what we're doing. We're being aligned with our hearts and our minds, and we're living from that place, and we're acting from that place. We're making our decisions from that place. Maybe we're meditating, maybe we're doing healing work in other ways, and we're knowing who we are and showing up as that, unequivocally, unapologetically in life. And I'm finding that I'm having a lot of conversations and getting a lot of questions about, how do you know when it's your heart? How do you know when it's your inner voice speaking? How do you know what is ego and what is soul? And so that's what wanted to come through today, is just this very strong message that I got when I was watching a seminar. And I just wanted to tell you about this as an example, and I'll have a couple of others as well, because it helps when we have little stories and examples so that we can say, oh, okay, I get it. And then we'll remember that. So what came through was ego blocks. Call that your unconscious, call it your personality, call it your patterns that are trying to keep you limited. They block you, right? Soul expands. Your soul, if there is such a thing, I'm going to say there is, your spirit, your inner self, your heart, your higher self, whatever is that most magical part of you that is the truth, it wants you to expand. It wants to experience expansion through you, as you. So that is the most simple way to know if the voice that you're hearing, whether it is something in your head, or you think it might be in your heart, but you're not sure. You think it might be intuition, but you're not sure. There's a difference between intuition from the gut that says, hey, wait, something's dangerous here, don't go there, and something that's just trying to keep you small. So the example that I have is I was watching a seminar. I was actually participating in this gorgeous weekend seminar recently, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people were participating with me, and it was wonderful. And there were all these different speakers, and there was a live audience as well as a chat, an online chat in this venue. And so I love doing things like this, not because I like being an audience member so much as that I love to get a pulse on what the speakers are saying and what the audience is wanting, what you guys are asking about, whether it's something that I can answer, or if there's a question asked commonly, then maybe I can think about that and it can be helpful for me, or maybe I can come up with some sort of a solution or an insight that will help all of us. And this is how my brain works, and this is what I've been up to, is just really getting a gauge and a pulse on where everybody's at, as much as possible in this wild adventure in this world. So I was watching the audience online and in person there. And a lady, a beautiful, fabulous, spirited lady. I spoke about this in my Love Note today. You can join Love Notes. There's a link in the description. It's on Telegram, and they're every day, a little voice note just to keep us connected and send some love out to you, as if someone was writing you a love letter, but in audio form, and sending you a little love note. That's what it is, Love Note. So the link is in the description, and I would love to have you in there. Anyway, this woman got up on stage. Fabulous, pretty, infamous woman. And before she started her talk, her intro was to ask everybody to get up, and they started playing this really fun music, and she wanted everybody to dance. And she was dancing. She brought 2 or 3 people out from the audience up onto the stage, and they were dancing. What was really fascinating was, as they panned through the audience, the physically present people in the audience, some of them had gotten up and they were dancing and raising their hands, and they were having so much fun jumping around. And then I'm interpreting what I saw, of course, but it looked like there was a medium kind of group of people who maybe wanted to get up and dance, and they had that impetus to, ooh, I want to participate, but they were too shy or they were too worried what people would think about them. So they either were sitting or standing very quietly or just, maybe moving a little bit, but they weren't dancing. They weren't full on dancing. And then there was a third group of people just sitting in the audience like this. They were not having it, did not want to participate in this at all. And the audience in the chat group did the exact same thing because I was watching it. And there were people who were saying, oh, this is so cool. This is so great. That's so much fun. I wish I was there. And there was the exact opposite energy of other people in the chat group saying, that is so stupid. I'm so glad that I did not go to this event because I would not like that at all. And everybody gets to have the experience that they came for. And it's none of my business, nor could I ever know if each of those people got what they came for and were happy with the result that they got. But what really showed up for me was ego blocks, soul expands. Because the people who were up dancing, you know what they were? They were happy. They were having fun. They were having a great time. They were letting loose. They were moving energy. They were having so much fun. And the people who were not, who were complaining in the chat or who were sitting in the audience, I can only tell you what I saw. And that was that they did not exude happy energy. Don't we all want more happiness? This is how you know when your heart is speaking to you, when your soul is speaking to you versus your patterns, your ego. That is trying to shut you down and make you feel small and make you worry what people will think. And your soul wants to go for it. Things that make you joyful, things that enchant and delight you. It doesn't care what anyone else is doing. It also knows that we're all one. So it actually, if I'm right on this, and who knows, we won't know in this lifetime, but I think that actually it's aware. Your inner self, your higher self, let's put it that way, is aware that by being the living embodiment and demonstration of joy, you impact others far more than you could if you were just sitting there and being your own individual separated self, ruminating in your thoughts, worried about what people will think, as we said. So that is how you know. It's the simplest metric. Is what I'm thinking and feeling expansive? Does it make me lean forward? Does it make me excited, enchanted, delighted, curious? Or does it shut me down and make me think that I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy? All the voices that we hear in our heads that tell us that we cannot do something or should not do something, they keep us in place. They keep us constricted. Constriction, expansion, block, go for it. Totally different energy. Here's another quick example before I let you go. I was on a subway the other day, and a gentleman came on at a stop, clearly a homeless man. He had tattered clothing, and he was very dirty and smelly, and my heart went out to him. And I'm so glad that somebody let him in the subway station, although not everyone will feel that way, I'm aware. But he laid down on one of the benches and he caught my eye and I caught his eye, and we stared at each other for a minute, and I just gave him as much love as I could. And I have no idea how he received that. He went to sleep and I was holding a smoothie in my hand. It was just, a fruit smoothie that I had just purchased. I hadn't opened it yet. It was my breakfast. And I found myself having this little mental war with myself. Do I offer this to this gentleman? Clearly he could use the nutrients, but I don't want to offend him. I don't want to insult him. He was there. I'm at a loss for words because that's how it felt. I didn't know what to do, and it wasn't really my place to disturb him, but at the same time, I had something that could be good for him. But I really did not want to insult his dignity by offering him something. So I sat there for a while as I was riding along on the subway. And finally, I decided that I would regret far more walking off that train without even offering him something lovely and nutritious that I had. And so I did. As I was getting up, he was still lying on the bench, and he happened, of course, to open his eyes at just the moment I was passing him. So I stopped for a second, and I showed him the smoothie, and I said, "Would you like this? I want to offer it to you." And he said, He said, "What is it?" So I looked at it and I said, "It's kale, celery, something, something." I was reading what it was, and before I even finished, he said, "No, no, no, no." He did not want the smoothie, but the offer was made, and he didn't seem offended at all. And I could have given him something if I had had something that he would have liked. But the point there is, I heard a little voice telling me not to do it. He might get offended. I don't know what this guy's thinking. And then I heard, what would love do? It wasn't those words, although I do ask myself that question a lot, but that was the essence of the question. Do this. Don't regret it. Offer him something. You can get another one. You are so blessed. And so I did what love would do, because that's what the soul would do. Connect spirit to spirit, heart to heart, and offer some compassion and some empathy and something lovely. And not everyone would do that. And maybe on another day I wouldn't do it, but that's what happened. And that was an example that wanted to come through for us today. So because the two voices, or the two kind of sides arguing, were very different feeling. One was shutting me down and another was expansive and beautiful and open. So I hope that this has been helpful for you today. I'm sure I could come up with way more stories and examples, but that's enough. It's a simple, simple concept. Expand or contract. That's how we know. May you have an expansive day, and may you feel more love in your heart and in your life than you ever have before, so that you can be a conduit to reflect it right on back out, radiate it right on back out into the world, because that is what we need, and that is leading with love in your family, your own life, your community, wherever you go, your circles. I'll be here doing it, and I hope that you're out there doing it too, because we need you, and I love you. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoyed this episode and it helped you open your heart, feel inspired, and know that we are all connected. Please subscribe and share so this work can touch more people. This is how we co-create the world we want to live in. Thank you so much again for joining us, and talk to you next time.